I'm doing this tribute to Angie Xtravaganza because I want the kids today to understand and see what it is to be a real ball mother. Angie was a real mother to most of these kids. All her kids loved her dearly. She would do anything for these kids. She would take care of her kids before she would take care of herself. Angie was a person who was not selfish. She had the heart the size of a moon. It was huge. She was so big and so incredible, so warm. It was unbelievably just getting to know a person like Angie. When I first got to meet her, I just was fascinated by the way she was dressing. I saw her walking down to the pier in her orange, no, excuse me, not orange, pink and black ruffled dress that took me out of here. I got to meet Angie, and as getting to know her was incredible. She was such a person that most of these people you won't see today. This tribute to her reminds me of a person like Marilyn Monroe, Lucille Ball. You still see movies about them. You still see tributes to them. You still see them on TV. Yes, they're long gone, but they'll never, ever be forgotten. And as far as I'm concerned, Angie's on that same level of being one of the true legends of today. And this video will show you and many other kids who never got a chance to meet Angie what it was to be a real house mother and the way she took care of us compared to the family problems she had, the street problems she had. She never brought it to us. All she wanted to know was that her kids were safe. Her kids was okay. And if they wasn't, watch out. Angie was no joke. She might have wore heels and a beautiful gown, but don't get in her way. And this tribute is just to let the kids know and to let the world know who Angie was and how much I cared about her. And I loved Angie to the fullest. When she died, a part of me left with her. I given this tribute so that we would never forget her. And it's impossible to forget her. But the kids of today will get a chance to see what was Angie all about. And this video is going to show you, and you'll see the warmth and the beauty that comes through her performance, by the way she talks, and by why the people react around Angie. Her own house kids and people who never got to know her, but just got to barely meet her, would know how well of a person she was, how warm she was. And this video will show you that. Angie, you're not here today, but I'm going to let you know you're always going to be in my heart, and I love you then, love you now, and I'm going to love you forever.
My name is Angie Xtravaganza, and I am the mother of the House of Xtravaganza.
Angie was a person that I ran into and met in the village at Peter Rabbit's when she was a boy. She had just finished beating somebody and ripped their ear that it was hanging off the earlobe. And I was aghast that this little person could terrorize somebody the way that they did. Little did we know that she terrorized many more different areas. Years later, I see her and she's going to a ball and she's in a bugle beater gown. Not that she was never done. I mean, we all have our moments, but Angie would come down Christopher Street and it was like Queen Elizabeth taking a stroll down the main streets of London. Whether they were gay or straight, bisexual, lesbian, Chinese or black, everybody lived for Angie. She was more of a woman than many women that I know. She was sensitive, caring, she could be vile and nasty. She was all the things that a mother could be, and then some. I took care of her when she was dying. She lived with me. I took care of her. And since losing Angie, my life has been very empty. It was like somebody took my garden and destroyed all of my prize roses. Because Angie wasn't just one rose, she was many. We have extravaganza in our heart, and that's because Angie is in our heart. And that's where extravaganza was. For Angie, it was in the heart. It was in a way of life. She took femme queens that didn't know anything and that were absolutely beautiful and sculpted them and threw them on a runway and slammed the ballroom. She was the youngest mother to ever win Mother of the Year. She was a runway diva. And one thing that Angie used to say, I might not be a beauty, but I have plenty of beauty to give you in all different aspects of my house. From my butch queens to my femme queens. Pick one, pick the category, and I got it for you. And her famous line, what's my name?
From the house of extravaganza, Mother of the Year, keeping her children intact. Can we have Angie Xtravaganza? Work class girl, walk that runway. This is an Andre Christian girl.
My birthday will come and I always get a birthday gift from Angie. Or get one from my real mother. Like when I got thrown out of my house, Angie let me stay with her. I got myself together and I got working. And she always fed me. She can be a pain in the ass at times, but I wouldn't trade her in for any other mother.
No quiero que me vuelvas a tocar jamás. No quiero que te vuelvas a burlar jamás. Ya no quiero que vuelvas a insistir jamás, porque lo nuestro ya no existe nada más. Y aunque te siga amando, no permitiré que vuelvas a poner un pie en este hogar. Las puertas se cerraron al atardecer, cuando cobardemente te vieron marchar. Compárame con óperas cuando hagas el amor. Esperan las ardientes para ti, será mejor. Disfruta los momentos porque en la comparación sabrás que nadie puede darte más amor que yo. Compárame con todas las que ocupan mi lugar y tan solo placer en todas ellas tendrás. Compárame con todas las que puedas disfrutar, sé que saldré ganando amor, porque no soy igual. No quiero que mi amor se vuelva a repetir. Es demasiado lo que me has hecho llorar. En vano es que regreses otra vez a mí. sabiendo que no nos podemos soportar. Compárame con un mes cuando hagas el amor. Que sean más ardientes para ti, será mejor. Disfruta los momentos porque en la comparación sabrás que nadie puede darte más amor que yo. Compárame con todas las que ocupan mi lugar y tan solo placer en todas ellas hallarás. Compárame con todas las que puedas disfrutar, sé que son verdaderamente amor, porque no soy
Let's hear for the fabulous Angie Xtravaganza one more time.
She has always been the epitome of being a real person, not only in the ballroom, but outside the ballroom. To me, she's always been an icon in my eyes for the simple fact that she would come into a ballroom wearing Mary McFadden from head to toe and fully accessorized, and she would just slay, and she would just step on the runway and this aura around her would just come on. It seemed like glowed in her own spotlight. They knew that she was in the house every time she came in. You didn't even have to announce who she was. Everyone knew who Angie Xtravaganza was. She showed me to have courage, and every time I walk into a ballroom, I hold my head up high with dignity and pride. And you know, every time I walk a ball for runway, I think of her and the way she used to walk. Because Angie was legendary for runway, and every time she walked on a runway, her arms would just swing elegantly and soft. You know, she would really give you that elegant, soft, classical walk. You know, I learned by watching Angie how to walk. So I made it a point upon myself to just, you know, make that category my category. To me, she's like the phoenix. You die in the fire and she's always reborn again. So that's how I remember Angie. And I always will to this very day.
When there's a ball, I'm always doing something for everybody in my house. I do that one's hair, the other one's makeup, you know, their shoes, their accessories. I always offer advice, you know, I mean, as far as what I know and what I've been through in gay life. You know, I ran away from my house when I was 14, and I've learned all sorts of things, good and bad, and how to survive in gay world. You know, it's kind of hard.
Angie Xtravaganza, runaway runway model. Everybody knew her in the ballroom. Everybody knew her in the village. But I'm going to talk about Miss Angie and my life with Miss Angie in a different aspect, on a more personal note. Me and Angie were roommates for a little while. Miss Angie was a woman 100% of her life. Every day, every minute, even while sleeping. Miss Angie slept in posing positions. She looked like she was voguing. She was the only woman that I knew that can sleep in all these different poses and wake up with a smile on her face in the morning looking like hell. Her hair standing all up at ends and running to the bathroom and carrying on from bright and early in the morning. Cooking. Miss Angie loved to cook, and her favorite thing was, a fag is not a real fag if they can't offer you a cup of coffee when you come and visit them or make you a pot of rice. She said those are not real queens. Miss Angie, to get ready, to go out, or even to go to a ball, would start about 10 or 11 in the morning doing her hair, washing, doing rollers, blow drying it to a standstill. That's about 2 hours worth of blow drying. Then to put the curling iron through it and then do rollers. That wasn't even the makeup part. Then we had to pick out an outfit. By 12 midnight, we were ready to go. Miss Angie had no problem stopping a car and getting a ride to New York just by her personality alone. Hi, going to New York, would you give me a ride? Sure. And she'd tell me, I don't know why you worry about there not being any buses when you know I'll get us a ride. And she got us a ride. Never, as long as I know Miss Angie, I never saw her pull a trick. She always used to tell me that she was not a beauty, that all her children were beauties. But Miss Angie's beauty seeped through her pores because it was inside. Her beauty came out from within. She was the most beautiful person, and because of that, when you saw her walk into a room, her beauty was unbelievable. It wasn't all in looks, and yet it was in looks because Angie was beautiful, in looks and in inside of her body. She'll always live in my heart and in my mind. She will never die because Miss Angie will never die because Miss Angie is more than a legend. She's more than an icon. I don't think they've made a word to describe what Miss Angie means or meant to any of us. Miss Angie is extravaganza. Extravaganza will never be extravaganza. Only Miss Angie knew what that was. She was extravagant. She was classy. She had the morals. She was the one who bestowed this on everybody there. That's how they all acquired and learned what it was to be an extravaganza. The angel in everybody's eyes. And that was her real name. They named her correctly. And I'm sure she's an angel now, and she lives in all of us that are left here. And that is the only reason why we can always say that we are true extravaganzas.
Extravaganza power!
One day I was walking down the village and I was entering the pier with a friend of mine named Little Carlos. And Angie was there with all her children. And she asked Little Carlos who was I, because I was making a lot of scandal when I got to the pier by the other children. And he went and introduced me to her. And she said, wow, you're beautiful. And you're going to be my new son, my new face child. And from that point on, she took me under her wing. And she took me like everywhere she would go to try to show me how to be, because I was too nice. So she said, you can't be too nice. You have to have a stronger character or they will walk all over you. And she took me under her wing and she started showing me the ropes and showing me the places to go and how to dress, how to act, how to carry myself. And that's one of the things that I mostly appreciate about her, because she was the true mother. She showed me how to cook, how to take care of a house, and still keep myself together for when, after everything was done in the house, we would go out and rain. And this was every night, practically, that we would hit the streets and have a lovely time and always be dressed. And whenever I didn't have a new pair of shoes or a new pair of sneakers, she would go out and get it for me, because she knew that I had that obsession of that I always had to have brand new things, the best things. And she made sure I always had it one way or the other. Whether she had to go out and get it or she would tell her husband to go out and get it, but somebody would get me what I wanted all the time. And she was just so special to me. She was my mother, Angie Xtravaganza. And I loved her with all my heart.
My name is Angie Xtravaganza, and I am the mother of the House of Extravaganza.